Speaker of the Gauteng Legislature, the Secretary to Parliament of South Africa, as well as the Deputy Secretary to the CPA and the Secretary of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, as well as to all of you senior officials that are here, Advocate Pindela, Mr. Mbata, and all the media that is here today. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to this media briefing. I think the reason that you are here, you are aware that we will be hosting a historic meeting which the leadership is going to brief you about on the state of readiness. And I salute you and also welcome you to this briefing. Let me begin with the introductions. First of all, I'm Maneli Siwolela. I'm representing the head of communication and spokesperson of Parliament, Mr. Mtapo, who, because of factors beyond our control, is not able to join us. And first of all, let me introduce the chairperson of the NCOP, the National Council of Provinces, Umama Refilwe, Mtshweni-Tsipane. And in fact, she needs no introduction to yourselves. And then we also have the Speaker of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Honourable Morakane Mosupyoe. I've said it right. Passing. Thank you. And then they are supported as well by the Secretary to Parliament. Do you need introduction, Esther? Mr. Conley George. And then also we have the Secretary of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, who advocate Paul Maluka. And then I'm just worried about even butchering the Deputy Secretary.
We are doing that.
Thank you so much. We have the Assistant Regional Secretary of the Africa region of CPA, Mr. Daniel Elingu. Thank you, sir. What we're going to do, colleagues, here, we have made no provision for people to connect with us online. So we will only be entertaining media that is present today. So, first of all, as we are hosted by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, and therefore the first person to make all of us feel at home is going to be Honourable Mosupyoe, Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, and we will hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Media Dumela, and the people of Gauteng. Allow me also to acknowledge the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. So do you want me to start again? Should I just proceed? Do you want me to start again? Okay. Program Director, thank you very much for the opportunity. And then allow me then to acknowledge the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Mayor Refilwe Mtshweni-Tsipane, to also acknowledge the Assistant Secretary of the Africa Region CPA, Mr. Daniel. Yeah, I don't want to butcher your surname. Please allow me to do that. But also to acknowledge the Secretary of the National Parliament and the Secretary of the Provincial Legislature. Distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning, Dumela. So on behalf of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature and the people of Gauteng, I extend a very warm welcome to our delegates from the Africa Region CPA, all the guests who have joined us. We have also, Chairperson, invited all the members from our legislature. They'll be joining us in one of the programs in the week. They're very excited that they will be forming part of this. And I must also say they were grumbling that they wanted to be part of the closed sessions, but we had to explain to them what the process is. But generally, they're very happy to be welcoming this conference to Gauteng. For us as a sub-national legislature, it is a historic moment, Chairperson and Secretary. It has never happened before in the history of the CPA that a branch at our level is allowed. After many meetings, which were graciously chaired by the Secretary, we were allowed, and the Chairperson also was part of those meetings, to be hosting this in conjunction with the NCOP, because the matter is it's embedded in our constitution, so we had to respect our constitution. The other important thing for us is that this venue in itself is very historic for South Africa. This is the venue where pre-1994 negotiations were held for the freedom that all of us enjoy today. So the combination of the two historic moments is very important for us as a province, and it's something that we will cherish and pass on to the generations to come. We are very grateful to the intervention of the Secretary and the Chairperson of the NCOP. With those words, I would like to say, Program Director, everyone is welcome, all the guests, all the delegates, and everybody else who will be watching this conference unfolding in all the media platforms that you have announced. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Speaker. You were not told to take off your coats, dear colleagues and visitors. It's a brief session, so let's keep the decorum of this meeting intact. At that point, let's now request our Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Mtshweni-Tsipane, so that she delivers the main message for the day. Chairperson?
No, thank you very much, Program Director, for the opportunity, and our warm greetings to the province of Gauteng, in particular the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature of Gauteng, and thank you for warm welcome and that we've received from your good self. It has been home, away from home for us, being here in your shores. Ever since we started with this work, I'm sure colleagues will also bear testimony that it has been very welcoming and very easy to work with the Provincial Legislature of Gauteng. Having said that, we also want to pass our greetings to the Assistant Regional Secretary of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Mr. Daniel. And once again, please let me not spoil the moment by pronouncing your surname incorrectly. We do have the Secretary to Parliament, Mr. Kolile George. He's here with us. We do have other members who are accompanying us from Parliament. You are equally welcome. Members of media, how can I forget the Secretary of the Provincial Legislature and the entire team, of course, you are with here today. The members of the media, as well as ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to your good self. Indeed, we must say it is an honor for us to be here. I am standing in today as the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, as we are correctly and warmly welcomed by our Speaker. Equally, I want to echo the same sentiments by welcoming the media personnel that are here with us in this media briefing. Today, we mark an important milestone in the South Africa's parliamentary parliament. It is befitting indeed to gather here today as heads of continental parliaments and sub-legislatures at the Emperor's Palace. The speaker has alluded to the history that has been witnessed by South Africans in this very same place that we are in today. This place gave birth to the new South Africa and the profound transition from the representative from a repressive apartheid system to a thriving constitutional democracy. South Africa has been since the adoption of our constitution 30 years ago. Now, the International Convention Center, that's where CODESA negotiation took place and ushered in the new South Africa we are enjoying today. We are here, colleagues, to announce and to also launch the Parliament's role as the co-host alongside the Gauteng Provincial Legislature of the 19th Conference of Speakers, Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth Africa region. This prestigious conference will take place as of the 16th up until the 20th of June 2026 here in Emperor's Palace. Now, for the benefit of our citizens and the media, I would like to start off by explaining exactly what CSPOC Africa region represents. This is a premier biannual gathering of the highest legislative authorities from across the African continent who are members of the Commonwealth. It brings together the speakers of national parliaments, the presiding officers of sub-national legislatures, such as our own provincial legislature, and of course the chairpersons of our upper houses like the NCOP. This conference is convened under the auspices of the Common Parliamentary Association, which is an international body that was established in 1911 to promote parliamentary democracy, good governance, and cooperation among our legislatures across the continent. It also provides a runway to the historic 69th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference that will be held at the Cape Town International Convention Center from the 13th to the 18th of September 2026. The CSPOC Africa region to be gathered here is the largest regional gathering of Commonwealth legislative leaders in Africa. In essence, this is a summit of men and women who preside over the business of lawmaking and oversight in their respective nations and provinces. Program Director, perhaps the question must be asked, why is South Africa hosting this conference, and why is it important for us to host this conference? Firstly, it reaffirms South Africa's role as a champion for democratic accountability. Since 1994, our parliament has been a beacon of constitutional democracy. Hosting this conference allows us to share our own experiences, both our successes and our learning curves, in building a proactive, people-centered parliament. It also signals that South Africa remains a committed and responsive member of the Commonwealth family. Secondly, it is a direct investment in Africa's political stability. We are gathering over this week under the theme, and I quote, proactive parliament and sustainable development, an imperative for political stability in Africa, close quote. So, looking at the theme itself, this conference is telling, and therefore it is important for us as legislators to discuss and deliberate on this critical, important thematic area that we will be deliberating on. We on the continent, we also know that stability is not merely the absence of conflict. It is the presence of accountable institutions, transparent governance, and parliaments that act before a crisis erupts. By hosting these dialogues, we are contributing directly to the architecture of continental peace and security. Lastly, it showcases our cooperative governance model. It is no incident, colleagues, that we are co-hosting with the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. As the NCOP, I'm sure we all know by now that we are the voices of the provinces. Now, this conference allows us to demonstrate to our peers that South Africa's multi-sphere system of government works. It also highlights the critical role of sub-national legislatures in delivering sustainable development directly to our citizens. Let me now turn to the substance of the conference itself. The program for the week is very robust, moving beyond ceremonial opening to deep strategic discourse. On Tuesday, June 16, we will begin off with a special program by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, which will then be followed by the official opening ceremony and a welcome dinner. It is important to note that our opening coincides with the Youth Day, a day deeply significant to our nation's history. This conversion is very powerful as it directly ties into one of our key thematic discussions. Over the following days, we will of course be deliberating on 4 central thematic areas. The first one being enhancing public trust in governance, which will be led by Botswana and Uganda. So this session will tackle the global challenges of declining public faith in political institutions. We will share strategies on transparency, ethics, and citizen engagement. The second thematic area will be around innovative mechanisms for proactive parliamentary leadership. Of course, it will be spearheaded by Sierra Leone as well as Lesotho. Under this thematic area, we move from reactive oversight to proactive leadership. How do we anticipate challenges in Africa's development before they become intractable? The third theme is around the harnessing of potential of Africa's youth for sustainable development, which is shared by South Africa with Kenya, as well as Malawi leading the discussions. Now, given the significance of June 16 as Youth Day in South Africa, this session is particularly poignant and will explore how parliaments can create legislative pathways for youth employment, entrepreneurship, and political participation. And the last theme will be around leveraging technology and digital tools for development, which is of course led by Namibia and Nigeria. This addresses the digital divide and how parliamentary processes from public participation to record keeping can be modernized. Now, what then do we anticipate to achieve throughout the week? Program Director, we're not meeting as merely a talk show session. We are meeting so that tangible, appropriative actions are taken by this body. We are going to have a declaration of commitment coming out from this conference. And in that declaration, we are anticipating a robust set of resolutions adopted at the closure of the plenary on Thursday, the 18th of June. This resolution will serve as a roadmap for parliaments across Africa. There's going to be a peer learning networking sessions. The conference will also establish practical mechanisms for parliaments to support one another, particularly in areas like budget oversight and legislative drafting. And lastly, we want to reinvigorate our role for subnational legislatures. We expect concrete affirmation of the role that provincial legislatures as well as NCOP play in the last mile of service delivery. As things stand, we are expecting about 187 countries which have confirmed their participation in the conference, representing the Commonwealth member countries, including Botswana, Cameroon, both the National and the Senate will be coming, Eswatini, the Gambia, Kenya, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Uganda, and Zambia. From South Africa, we have all our 9 provinces represented, with the municipality from the Gauteng province as the host city represented as well. Finally, to our colleagues in the media, your role as watchdogs and informants of the public is very critical to the success of this conference. We need you to tell our story. We have issued a formal media advisory, and those who applied can collect their accreditation as of now from the media officials of parliaments and the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, if you have not done so. As I conclude, Program Director, I want to conclude by saying that the eyes of the Commonwealth's legislative world will be on Gauteng and our country, as South Africa once again demonstrate our ever-growing capacity to host global conferences and events. As hosts of both CSPOC and CPC, we'll extend our Ubuntu and take the responsibility to host conferences that are not only logistically flawless, but also impactful in improving lives as we strive to build a better Africa and a better world. We are ready and we remain committed, and we're looking forward to welcoming our fellow presiding officers to the shores of South Africa, and in particular to the mighty province of Gauteng. Thank you so much.
I thought we were going to just clap after such a... Thank you so much, Chairperson, and also Speaker. And now we open up to media to ask questions. But stakeholders that wish to ask, can we prioritize media first? I know that sometimes, so as media is going to raise questions, please introduce yourself, including the media house or the establishment or agency that you are representing, and then put your question. Colleagues are here, they will circulate microphones. Sometimes the Chairperson, the disadvantage of being so comprehensive such that when the media sits there, what else can we ask for?
Yeah, that's good.
Although there's one critical omission I made, Tanzania is one of the countries that would partake in this auspicious conference. My apology.
Apology accepted, Chairperson. And the Assistant Secretary is also coming from
Tanzania. Yes,
Tanzania.
Dodoma.
Yes.
A beautiful city.
Thank you very much. My name is Mfanelo Dzanibe. I'm from Thembisa Online. I just wanted to find out, how is the conference going to align the message, just to make sure that also the communities are able to learn more about the Parliament's processes and also about this conference, just to get insights and get to understand the gathering and also the benefits into the community, especially for people in the township. And also number 2, you spoke about the spirit of Ubuntu and also uniting the Africans and everything, but we have a problem which I think everybody might be, I might not say it's a problem, but we have anti-illegal immigration protests that are happening. And I was listening yesterday, a lot of people are now in fear, especially people from the neighboring countries and everything. What is the response and the message from the Parliament? Thank you.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
may we perhaps entertain just 5 questions in total? Any other hand from the media? Okay, microphone please.
Good morning. I'm Mtshweni-Tsipane from the SCPC. My question is, what tangible outcomes do you hope will emerge from this conference?
Okay, that's the third one. Is there any other question? Gone. I'm going back to the leadership to answer. Over to you.
No, thank you very much for the questions from Thembisa as well as SABC. I think the first question speaks to how are we going to ensure that we enlighten our communities of the proceedings. Indeed, that's a very important question. Our sessions are going to be streamed live. Our people will be able to follow through the proceeding through various channels. One amongst others would be the Parliament channel, which is on 403, as well as Gauteng Provincial Legislature and YouTube channels as well, so that people are acquainted with what their legislative sectors are doing to represent their plight and aspiration, because as an African country, we are one family, and therefore it is very important that we learn from one another and we benchmark. So how does the entire process work so that there are clear counts and balances, checks and balances on the work that we are doing, and the critical learning, of course, from one another. What is it that we learn from one another so that we can come back and implement and enhance and improve on the policy imperatives that we are putting forth as legislatures that will enable our citizens and ensure their safety and political stability. So that is very critical, particularly in the democratic dispensation that we find ourselves in. There, I'm sure I've also covered from the question that you've asked, what is it basically that we'll be looking at? Issues of harnessing accountability, strengthening democratic processes, and learning from each other in terms of the legislative processes that we, as legislatures, we enact legislatures, we benchmark basically from others, one another, and what are the pertinent issues that are affecting us, and how best can we collaborate amongst each other as different legislatures within the continent. So in the main, we would be looking at such issues and how best can we collaborate on issues of common interest amongst ourselves. So the very important question that has been raised is in relation with the illegal foreigners and the hype that is within the country. I'm sure we'll recall, all of us, that our president has had a media briefing where he has outlined the key policy imperatives as well as the crackdown strategies that they will be implementing. Us as legislatures, our role is we have seen, we have noted what the president is proposing as the solution towards the problem that we are facing. We will then have to monitor its implementation and ensure that there is stability and there is harmony, not only in the country, but across the SADC. So that to us is very critical. We do have a role. We've heard what the executive is planning to do, and as we do our work as concerned citizens of South Africa, representing the people of South Africa, we'll just have to make sure that those strategies are being implemented, and of course, what impact those strategies has had to the challenges that we are facing, and are they workable? If there are gaps, how best can they then bridge those gaps such that at the end we live in harmony as SADC Africa regions? Thank you very much. Unless there's anything outstanding, Speaker. All right.
Okay. I think that is covered. Is there any other hand someone who wishes to further raise questions? Okay. May I hand over to the Secretary of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, who is going to make an addition. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I think there's the second part of the question around how will community benefit out of the conference itself. We, as part of the conference program, we have what you call excursions, wherein the delegates will be given a chance so as to be exposed to the hospitality of Gauteng, and also immediately afterwards they will be treated and they will be served lunch in townships. I mean, we'll be taking them to Mamelodi, Jack Buddha, we'll be taking them to Soweto, we'll be taking them to Western, so it will be different stations wherein these communities will be able to, I mean, benefit out of the conference itself. Thanks.
No, I think there's one critical aspect that I've omitted when I was responding. As you would know that we are commemorating June 16th, and therefore we have a program where, as African countries, we are going to demonstrate the spirit of oneness, coming together as African countries. We are going to go and lay wreaths as various countries in Soweto, in Hector Peterson Memorial site. So as African countries, that demonstrate Ubuntu, the oneness and the solidarity we are having as a SADC continent. So again, that will be streamed live, and the executive being led by the our president will also be there. Us as the legislative sector will then accompany the president and all the other 187 countries, the countries that out of the 187 countries that are part of the Africa region, those that will be coming in, they will be there. The speakers will then pledge solidarity in commemorating the 50 years of Youth Day in South Africa by demonstrating the common purpose of oneness that we are having as African countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Speaker of Gauteng. Thank you to the rest of our leadership, Mr.
Daniel.
And also the Secretary to Parliament, Mr. George, as well as Advocate Maluka, the Secretary to the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. At this point, we have on our program a session, a photo session. But before that, may I just wrap up what we are doing now. We will have a photo session with the leadership. The experts are here to guide that process for both the Gauteng Provincial Legislature as well as the Parliament of South Africa. They will lead the rest of the other photographers in taking these photos. Yes, I think I will hand over to them at that point. But let me take this opportunity and thank all of you for having come to interface, to engage the chairperson, the speaker, the secretaries, the assistant secretaries, as well as Advocate Miller is there as well. He did not comment, and the secretary. But we, on behalf of Parliament and the Provincial Legislature of Gauteng, we thank all of you for being here. We trust that this partnership we have started today is going to be enhanced throughout this period of the conference, because we were told by Gauteng that there's over 40 media that is confirmed will be covering the conference overall. Thank you so much. At that point, that's where we come to an end. But we will have a photo session after that. And then after the photo session, there will be an opportunity for individual interviews. for the media that wishes to interview either the Speaker or the Chairperson of the NCOP. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chair, we're just requesting for the delegation
Just
to stand
stand.
up.
Stand for the, yes.